What is up, everybody? I'm Mega Shortfuse, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet so we can get to the good stuff. Now, for a while, I've been trying to think of a way to present this podcast to you. This is one of my favorite podcasts, if not my favorite. This monstrosity is called Laser Time, and it is born out of my favorite podcast of all time, my actual favorite. This is like my new favorite, because the old one died, which was Talk Radar, based in GamesRadar.com, and it was awesome about video games and stuff. And since most of the hosts of that podcast left, one of them, Chris Antista, who was the resident poop joke editor, I'm not kidding, at Games Radar, started his own website called Laser Time, and he started a titular podcast, which is about geek culture, just everything media, games, movies, music, just everything stupid. And they have team shows, and I found it difficult to recommend it to you guys, difficult to find a jumping off point. Not anymore. This week, Laser Time had a extremely insane but consistently hilarious episode about quizzes and reading erotic fan fiction. So without further ado, if you're still not convinced for some reason that Laser Time is awesome, I'm gonna leave it to you. But if you do like this, there will be links in the description to lasertimepodcast.com or batmanthepodcast.com and the iTunes page if I can find a link. Otherwise, just go to the iTunes store, type in Laser Time, and it should come up. And if you're still not convinced, the Laser Time site offers two other podcasts, which are VG Empire, which is about video game music, which I need to start listening to, because, yes, and Cape Crisis, which is one of the best podcasts, like, ever, because comic books. Yes, Cape Crisis is about comic books, all things comic related, and it is great. So, on to a part of the erotic fanfiction segment, which involves Fluffball Kirby having, well, you'll see.
This is consistently erotic fanfiction theater.
Yes, Henry is the master of erotica. I want you, like, I want to read. I want to read this. This one's a little difficult because it's a one-person narration.
Yeah, okay. We can't do voices here, but
we can't do voices here. But this is definitely Laser Time's erotic fanfiction theater. This one is about Kirby. And it's just me. So is there any how do you hear Kirby sounding?
What you doing a voice will make this 10 times worse.
Okay. I understand. Okay. First Date by Blow Charmander.
Boy. Oh god.
I fell back onto the bed, my legs wagging in the air as she mounted me, planted a soft kiss on my lips. Just relax, Kirby. Enjoy this. She whispered into my ear before she removed her shirt and threw it onto the floor. She kissed my cheek before lowering down to my legs, where my dick was sitting in plain sight, twitching with excitement as she pressed her lips to it and licked the head. A small moan escaped my lips as she slowly took my member into her mouth. She slowly started to bob her head on my dick, sucking softly as her tongue flicked over my shaft. My stubby hands gripped the back of her head, guiding her along. This is Kirby. Along as she gave me my first blowy.
The proportions of Kirby don't make any sense.
Nope. Yes. Yeah, seal hands grabbing the back of a woman's head.
So around his legs, which are his feet.
Serious business.
He can't touch his hands together.
My eyes lolled back. The back is.
it's spelled lolled.
It is.
Like you laughed.
Look, my eyes LOL'd back as she increased her suction on my on my dick, slobbering all over my shaft. Yeah, I moaned, slowly thrusting up into her mouth. She replied back by moaning and sucking even harder, moving her head up and down much faster. I groaned as I felt my cock throb inside her mouth, a sign that I was close. I moaned out as my seed spurted into her mouth, which she swallowed without a second thought. She let my limp member exit her mouth, and she kissed my cheek. I kissed her back on the neck, nibbling softly on the blonde's flesh. Not done yet, she moaned lustfully. Fine with me. And with that, she removed her skirt, casting it aside along with her lacy white panties. She kissed me. Show me what you got, Pinky. I'm Kirby, by the way. She said before rolling onto her back beside me. I mounted her, my now hard member lined up with her slit, without hesitation, since I knew she wasn't a virgin. God, Kirby!
Wow.
Kirby is worldwise. I started to thrust into her, holding her hips firm with my hands. Her lips found mine as we shared a passionate kiss. Hold on. My dick still being rammed into her tight cunny. Definitely a Brit.
Yeah.
As my thrusting grew more sloppy, so did our kiss. As we lost ourselves in the ecstasy of flesh on flesh, we couldn't tell if we were kissing the other's lips or forehead, and frankly, we didn't care.
You're not even at the best part.
All that mattered
This keeps going.
was making this a night to remember. My hands ran up her body all the way to her nice soft breasts. This is a woman, okay. And began to fondle them and punch her nubs. She moaned into my mouth, bucking her hips against mine, sending waves of pleasuring euphoria throughout my body. My dick throbbed inside of her, letting me know that our moment was over as my warm goo blasted onto
Into her womb.
Kirby absorbs things. He doesn't eject. She screamed out, her walls tightening around my shaft as her orgasm shook her body. I gasped when I felt them constrict my member, a strong surge of pleasure rushing through me. When our orgasm subsided, I pulled out of her, my member limp yet again. I'm Kirby. I am Kirby.
Just wait for the next paragraph.
She flicked her tongue across my cheek and rubbed my shaft, quickly reviving it as he stood proud and tall. She whispered something into my ear. A request of hers, and I nodded with a pervy grin on my face, because I'm Kirby. I reached into the drawer beside my bed and pulled out a toy plane that would that would make me Jet Kirby. I swallowed it. I inhaled the plane, feeling my body shift into the jet form, my jet turbines appearing on my head. I looked over to Tiff, who had already gotten up on all fours with her butt wagging at me.
Wait, they named her.
Tiff, and grinned evilly as I mounted her. My thrusters turned on as I pumped my hips into her, lifting us off the ground as I began to thrust into her ass. Her juices working as an excellent lubricant. Tiff screamed out as she felt my hard horn penetrating her ass. I'm Kirby. But she quickly began to moan loudly.
Jet Kirby. What game is Jet Kirby from? Hang on.
The Squeakle? She moaned loudly. She pressed her hands against the wall where I decided to push her against as we floated in midair. I began to drill her tight hole, moaning out as her anus wrapped itself around my shaft.
Christ.
I'm Jet Kirby. I brought her hand down on her left cheek, spanking it as hard as I thrust faster into her hole. Sweat beaded on my forehead as I sped up, using my turbines to ram harder into her ass.
Air traffic control told us to come down.
The sound of flesh slapping flesh grew louder as I heard her screaming more. I obliged, being the gentleman that I am, and as I kept thrusting into her, spanking her hard as I reamed her ass, but reality and the Star Warrior anatomy caught up to... When my climax came, making me blast my seed into her warm butthole before I pulled out and lowered us to the ground.
You're Kirby.
She wrapped her arms around me before planting a deep, wet kiss on my lips. I kissed her back, closing my eyes as we lay spent on the bed, our juices across the sheet.
God.
And scene. Scene.
Henry's actually holding his head.
And this is not even close to the best part. Wait until you get to the Mass Effect one. So once again, if you're interested, the episode link as well as the site link is in the description. Check it. You will not be disappointed. And if you want to backtrack and listen to the catalog of podcasts, which there are many of, hit me up. I will link you with the best ones. And yeah, thank you. And please, for the love of God, go listen to Laser Time.